Thank you, Monica. Student suicides on college campuses have been a concern for some time now, but a spike in suicides at one local school has some concern that the university is not doing enough. The third suicide this semester at Rowan University in Glassboro, New Jersey, happened the day after Thanksgiving. Students and alumni have openly criticized the school for not doing more to help students with mental health problems. Lauren Kubiak graduated from Rowan in 2018. She says on Twitter, quote, "Rowan has 15 current counselors, looking to add 3 in the new year. With 18 counselors, the ratio becomes 1 to 1,081. Rowan President Ali Houseman says in a statement on the school's website that 15 counselors was, quote, at the high end of the national standard. Let's bring in friend of the show and clinical psychologist, Dr. Jeffrey Gardier. Dr. Jeff, good to see you.
Good to see you.
So, Doc, let me ask you, is this on the student counselor side, or is this more on the side of, there are a lot of faculty and a lot of professors there that I think would like to do more to help recognize the signs of kids in distress?
I think that old saying that it takes a village is very apropos here. We're looking perhaps at a contagion effect that you've seen 3 happen at this one particular school. So I think it really is incumbent upon the entire faculty, everyone who works there, including the students, that they get some sort of debriefing, they get training as to what depression and pre-suicide may look like and how they can begin to help one another. It's not just about counselors doing the work, but also faculty, staff members, and even having peer counseling being part of the treating program.
Doc, can you hang around for a second? I want to bring back the panel and have you join this conversation. Allison Young, Republican strategist, and Garland Nixon, radio talk show host. Allison, I want to go to you on this. I think the doc brings up a really good point about the isolation. People lack those social skills. They'd rather text or Snapchat than pick up the phone and call. So people are less likely to interact. Do you think that's part of it?
I think that's a lot of it. I think the Doc Gardier is absolutely right on this because people are feeling isolated. It's easier to stay isolated. And how are you, the way to prevent a suicide is to have an interaction with another human who can actually get through to you. That's not going to happen online. But I will say the National Suicide Prevention Helpline is available 24/7 where you can talk to an actual human even if you can't go out and see someone.
Garland, your daughter is grown and went through college. What did she experience this with her friends and her peers?
Yeah, and she would come home and discuss different things. But I think one of the issues here that's important that we got to look at here, and that is training both professors, students, and other people in our society to recognize when a person's going through a mental breakdown for this reason. For one person, it's suicide. For another person, it's homicide, school shooting. So one of the things we have to do here is focus on, instead of being outraged at the university, all of us have to learn to see that mental breakdown so it can be addressed.
It's a great point, Doc. Last point on this, just you and I have talked about coping skills. We've talked about people lacking the skills to overcome adversity and deal with real life. Is part of this that it seems to me, on one hand, we say we coddle the kids too much and overprotect them. On the other hand, they're kind of on their own. They're making big decisions at very young ages without their parents. They're making decisions about gender, sometimes in 7th and 8th grade. Are we setting these kids up to fail?
Bill, I think you're spot on with this. There's been a push from so-called experts like myself to give kids as much independence as possible. But I think we're coming back to the old advice of be involved in your child's life and make sure you know what they're doing at all times.
Thank you, Doc. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.